Welcome to the Mechanics Library e-edition, and to the final, long-awaited episode of the History of the Mechanics Library series.
And today we're off to visit one of our favorite patrons,
Mrs. Dorothy Holden.
Dorothy Holden is one of our most dedicated patrons, and she even makes a book for us. She is 101 years old. In October, she'll be 102. She sends us letters and books, and she has the help of her illustrator, Miss Froggy. She's revealing the secrets. Dorothy and Grandma have been friends for a long time. They were both first grade teachers. And I'm about to finish first grade. I wish Grandma was my teacher. That would be helpful. Or Dorothy. We used to go to the same church with Dorothy, but we can't anymore because we're on lockdown. We're going to go visit her now through the window. She's very funny.
Hi, Dorothy. Want to go outside, Barney? Want to go outside, Dorothy?
See how this is 6 feet.
Now, who's a writer?
Dorothy is our favorite patron.
Yes, well, let me move out of the way.
For Jack's library.
Yeah.
We love your books, Dorothy.
Oh,
Yeah, you get fancy with those. Man.
I don't think Tori's here yet.
She's coming.
Is she going to tell?
Is this where you watch the butterflies and the birds?
The white one.
We need a
Oh,
translator.
the white ones, yes.
This is her bird. She has her bird feeders behind her
Yes, okay.
there. We brought one in
Oh.
for cleaning.
Grandma,
The bird
remember in the book
bath.
the sunflower,
Oh yeah, is that the sunflower windmill that you wrote about in your book?
And sometimes we have a little bunny that comes and sits here.
And the quail come up under the oak tree there.
Mm-hmm.
And she can see out this way, and they sneak
a
up
bird
from
under
across
there.
the street and jump up, and then they all come running forward underneath the branches. Barney here.
Yeah. Barney looks like you've had a haircut too.
Yeah, well, we read about.
Barney looks much bigger than last time.
It talks about Barney's haircuts in the book that Dorothy wrote.
Yeah, I've seen Barney many times, but I saw this other dog.
Buddy.
Yeah, Buddy.
Maybe you saw our former dog,
Do they get along?
Missy.
Do they like
yes.
each other?
We had to
Yes.
put to
Yeah.
sleep.
We remember Missy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Buddy, when he was young, would come up and bother Missy, who was old. And now, Barney bothers Buddy, who's old.
I'm getting pretty shaggy.
Oh, you haven't had a
She's
haircut?
getting pretty shaggy.
I haven't had a haircut for so long.
We ought to have Verna here.
Yeah.
I mean, have
Robin,
here.
Yeah.
one of Mom's caregivers that used to be do hair.
Oh,
So
that's
she
convenient.
Gives Mom haircuts.
Nice.
Yeah, your hair looks really nice, Dorothy.
Yeah.
How wonderful to have you here.
Oh, it's wonderful
Can you
to
see my rug?
Your rug?
Rock.
Oh, your rock.
That's
oh,
her
yeah.
rock.
Your rock is right there, and looks like the tide's pretty low right now. Yeah. Yeah.
They're
And
taking a chance bringing that tour boat that far up today.
surprised. They are.
They went canoeing out there yesterday.
Oh yeah?
Last week I had an old canoe in Colorado, So I put it on my truck and brought it out because we never used it at home. So now we have a canoe to use.
Oh, fun. Yeah. Yeah, it's a perfect place for a canoe.
Pretty fortunate that
Inside the two windows.
He's trapped.
Yeah.
But he can still get out.
Yeah, Grandma has nice handwriting, doesn't she? Dorothy's saying that Jack is fortunate that you're good at printing, so you can transcribe his stories.
You must have done that too with the first grade.
I hear Tori's car.
When you taught first grade, Dorothy, then when you taught first grade, you probably had to get very nice printing too, right?
Yeah. I taught 3 of them.
I want to see Barbie.
All our dogs were named Mike.
Oh, that's convenient.
That way, as they got old and passed on, and we got a new dog, we named the new dog Mike,
Okay.
regardless of gender.
Is it Mikey
And so
or
it was,
Micah?
and then after that, when Mom started getting really creative with dog names after all his kids had left, and she had one called Malachi,
Wow.
Missy, so it was all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's Tori.
Oh my.
There's the famous artist.
I could have guessed it. This is Mr. Jackson.
No, this is Mr. Dog.
I
This
guess
is Abel.
I'm not supposed to. So I'm gonna give you a handshake, airboat.
Dorothy was the first one to read any of those library books.
Yeah, she was the one who believed in the library even when it was very young.
She helped to start it.
Yes, we love Jack's library. Okay.
Do you guys have any questions?
Which is Jack?
Jack is there.
Where's Jack?
Jack has the gray hat and Abel has all black.
Yeah. Mostly.
Jack
Do you wanna-
and Abel. Okay.
Do you want to ask them where they get their inspiration for their stories that they wrote us?
Where do you get the inspiration for your stories?
Jack wants to know where we got the inspiration for our stories that we turned into little books for him.
From what little bit I can remember, I guess is what it amounts to.
They're actual stories of Dorothy's childhood when she was younger that she remembers things.
Wow.
What's your real name?
Oh, my real name is Tori. However, when I was born, my brother was 3 years old. He could not say Tori, so he ran around and told everybody that his sister's name was Toad.
Oh.
So my grandmother always called me Froggy.
How did you learn to draw so nice pictures?
My mother and my aunt are actually artists, and I just call mine doodles.
They're
I just
very
really
fancy.
Enjoy it.
Wait, so you're not an artist, you just draw pictures?
No, I call it a doodler.
We like the sparkle pins especially.
Oh, yes, I love glitter.
Do you have any things that you remember from when you taught first grade, Dorothy?
Do you have anything you remember when you were a teacher?
I remember I had first grade, first, second, and third when I first moved up here. But we saw this view when I'd come up to visit, and so I decided that's where I wanted to retire.
This lot.
And it worked out very well, except Harry didn't get to come with me.
Her husband passed away
Long
down
time ago.
south.
Mom, can you tell them about how you used to have praying mantises for the kids?
What?
Oh yeah, do you ever have anything like that in your classroom?
Praying mantises in the classroom?
Well-
in a cage?
Yeah,
Oh, in
we
a
had
cage?
one once. We had a praying mantis once in our classroom.
You did?
But that was when we were in 3rd grade.
It was a complete cage, and the kids would put hamburger on a toothpick, and he'd eat it. And then one time he took a bite out of poor Missy.
That was the dog Mike we had back then.
The praying mantis
Well,
took
the
a
praying
bite?
mantis, the cage was made with pie tins with screen around. And so if you didn't have the screen tight,
a little piece of hamburger on a
raw hamburger,
A toothpick.
you had to wiggle it so it looked like a fly.
Oh my.
for the praying mantis would reach out and get it. But my poor mother had
My
to,
grandma lived with us
his grandmother
when she was older.
had to walk by cages, or no, they weren't cages, they were, what were
Aquarium.
they called?
Aquariums.
Aquariums, like a fish's aquarium. And one time they had a, what was he called?
An iguana.
Oh yeah, an iguana that crawled over the top of our bed, Harry's and Mars.
Can you see?
Brian's iguana.
Bed.
But your boys had snakes. That's
But then most of them she had snakes.
Oh
In
my.
back of you I have a snake. Where is it, Greg?
It's the branch that hangs down under the oak tree there behind the...
Oh.
The mom likes to watch the birds because they get on that and when they jump off it vibrates up and down.
Oh. Looks like a snake.
Looks like a snake to her.
Wait, so
This bird sanctuary is, but then you get down farther and you get into the Morro Bay. What is the park called over there?
Morro Bay State Park.
Is it the Morro Bay City
Yeah.
Park? Have you been there?
yeah, we've been there.
Well, Mom, do you remember how the praying, can you do an imitation of how the praying mantis would strike out to grab the flies or the meat? All the kids would watch. The praying mantis would have its hands up, I don't know what you call it, and it would sit there and they'd wave that hamburger or the fly would fly around and then all of a sudden the praying mantis would go,
Oh my.
and then it would proceed to eat the fly and all the kids would just have their eyes big watching that. They have those little triangular heads.
What happened
Take it.
with the dog?
The praying mantis got out of the cage because the dog was poking it with its nose. And so the praying mantis got out of the cage when the dog knocked it over and got on the dog's nose and bit the poor dog's nose.
Oh
So we came in, the dog, "Arr, arr," and here was the praying mantis. So it was hard. We had to get the praying mantis off of the dog's nose because they have sticky little stickers on their hands, on their legs.
Wow.
I don't think the dog quite knew what was going on because it couldn't focus its eyes on the praying mantis because it was right there.
Wow.
Jack, Dorothy would like to let you know that we are working on another book for you. And Dorothy is going to tell the story of her father. And would you like to tell Jack what your father did for a living?
He was a farrier. And the story is that they were once farriers for the King and Queen of England.
Oh my.
And you understand what a farrier is?
No.
They're horseshoers. Blacksmiths and horseshoers.
Because they have to pound the horseshoes come just in a plain picture of a, I mean, if you can see a horseshoe, you know, you've seen the horseshoes.
They're
Yeah.
they're to the horse's hoof.
I know.
Okay. But they don't come like that. A piece of metal comes and the blacksmith makes the shoe
I
to
know.
fit the horse.
I know.
So, but Dorothy,
It's
tell
like you
them.
go to the store and you have a horse, I mean, you have a shoe fit to your foot. He would make shoes that fit the horse. And they had to have the mules. And I used to, walking home from the from our grammar school, I had to walk past the horseshoe place, and I was just sure that they were going to get loose and follow me home, and I was very scared.
She was always scared the mules were going to come after her. She doesn't really know why. I thought maybe one of her brothers told her that, but she said no. Can you tell them how strong your dad was?
Yeah, he held one girl. He had two granddaughters. He had one on one hand and one on the other, and he held them out like this.
Wow.
He was a strong man.
So that we're working on for your library in hopes that, well, we know you'll enjoy it because we thank you for enjoying them.
Yeah, we're going to read some of your books for our video and share them with all of our library patrons.
All right. Thank you. We're honored.
And Dorothy has been coming over to our house for missions committee meetings ever since the kids were babies. So she would always they would come in and ask her to read a book, and she would always read them a book. So
That's wonderful.
They would enjoy that, yeah.
I was just in the back room, and I thought you might enjoy a picture of my mom here when she was a little kid.
Oh.
And this is she and her sister and brother. And can you pick out which one of those is Mom?
That on that side. This one.
That one? That's her big sister.
That one.
That's her big sister.
This one.
I think it's the middle
That's
one.
her brother. That's Dorothy with no hair.
She has the same.
There's something about it's the same, isn't it?
I didn't have any hair till I was about 2 or 3.
Yep.
She has beautiful hair now.
Yeah.
We had a dog named Bob. And he got lost. We didn't have him. We wondered where he was. And he found his way home he ran home.
Oh, how long was he gone?
Hmm?
How long was he lost?
How long was he lost?
Quite a while. And they didn't know what had happened to him. When, of course, we were all very unhappy and at ease. Well, we couldn't see pictures. You held them in your hand. And here was Bob. Couldn't get up, so we thought something bad had happened to him. He traveled all by himself to try to find us. And come to find out, she was sitting on in the chair on his tail.
Oh.
And he couldn't get up. But there we'd see a dog running along the road as fast as he could go. And we knew he was lost and he could find his way home. I don't know how they're able to. Is that Ione?
Yep.
Little snippets of stories. Mom taught in the 3-room schoolhouse up by Fresno, and then years later she got to a bigger schools, and then there's some years that she can't remember. But when we were kids, she always taught first grade, first and second, all the way for about 25 years in West Covina.
No.
Jack just is finishing first grade now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Grandma taught first grade too.
Yeah, I'm finishing on Wednesday.
So there's a connection.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
Wednesday is the end of school. Yeah, Wednesday is the season. That's all right. And
People, there was a time when people were all excited about chickens. Everybody had chickens.
That's sort of like right now, because a lot of people are getting chickens right now, too.
Chickens are cool.
Yeah, we got chickens.
And
We have chicks.
All upset because the neighbors were upset with the crowing.
Oh.
In West Covina, which was a tight little suburb where everybody was close, the kids at Mom's school, the first graders, their parents would give them chicks for Easter.
Okay.
But they didn't think it through. And so after a while, the little chicks got bigger and they weren't appropriate to have, so they'd bring it into Mrs. Holden.
Oh.
Mrs. Holden would say, sure, no problem, I'll take the chicks. And so she'd bring them home. They weren't always hens,
Okay.
but they were also very illegal to have in your backyard because they were noisy. And so the neighbors were always after Mom and Dad for having those chickens in the backyard.
So the police came and busted you for the chickens, or?
I think it was the, what do they call that? Not animal control, but the people who do citations.
Okay.
I don't know, but like a nuisance control.
Oh.
Because Mom and Dad were a nuisance with their chickens.
Oh my.
We had a little hen that crowed.
Okay.
We had
was
a little
confused.
black bantam named, I can't remember the name, Julie would remember it.
So they,
Whenever it crowed, it meant it had laid an egg somewhere in the backyard and you had to go hunting.
Oh wow.
So make sure that you know where your hens are and so they stay in one place. But we found that if she started to lay some eggs, and we'd find them and she'd have a couple of eggs in there already, if we took those little plastic Easter egg things and put them in the nest, they never hatched. So she'd keep laying eggs thinking she was filling up her clutch of eggs, and each day we'd go out and steal the fresh egg. And she just sat on those plastic eggs and was happy as could be.
She didn't notice that they were like bright yellow or orange or pink.
They were
or whatever.
two-toned, in fact.
Oh, okay.
And they were noticeably bigger than her eggs.
That's funny.
Julie should be down. She likes to tell that story. The little chicks.
That's funny.
But she liked to lay them out in the bamboo. We had a bamboo patch. You had to crawl in there, so it was us, the kids, that had to get it.
Did you have a big yard there?
This was in West Covina. It was a modest-sized yard. There was space for chickens. But when Mom was young, they had a chicken house that they built in front of their house. And her father got mad, right?
he thought that was apple to have chicken pen in front of the house. And so they turned it into a summer house.
Oh.
A screened-in summer house.
Oh, that's the one you slept in.
And then they took the chicken house and put it behind the barn. And then years later, when my younger brother and I were about a little bit younger than you guys, Mom and Dad came to stay with her mother for 2 years while they got their toy store going. And so my brother and I, older brother Rod and I, would sleep in this little summer house out there. So every night we'd have to, it was time to go to bed, it would be dark, and we'd have to walk out to that little summer house. So we'd run out there, turn the light on really fast, make sure there were no coyotes in there.
Yeah.
He didn't need to be scared. I was watching from inside the house. I could see him walking slowly and then running.
I don't know. Our memory is that they were pretty unconcerned about us poor children going out there. You know, where there's coyotes, there could be wolves and mountain lions and everything else. They'd make us walk out. Don't be scared. But they weren't going out there.
We were watching them, taking care of our kids.
Those are the family stories. About how they neglected us. Yep, our father had a toy store, so we grew up for about 15 years. Our jobs on the weekends were to go and help Dad at the toy store.
Okay.
Wash windows and unpack boxes, assemble bicycles and things, and play with the toys to make sure they worked.
Yes. Think that'd be a fun job, boys?
Don't.
To work in a toy store. That meant you didn't appreciate toys because that was work.
Unless you got paid.
We got paid in models, plastic models.
Well,
We'd work all day and he'd say, okay, go and pick out a model. Had to be less than 99 cents, but you could pick one out.
And the toy store had had a, what did it have?
It had a roof.
You
and a
have
back
that
door.
trouble.
The clock,
too,
the
a
cuckoo
little
clock.
bit.
It had the cuckoo.
She's asking if you have trouble remembering things sometimes.
Oh, yes.
It had a cuckoo clock they bought for it,
Oh.
and that's the cuckoo clock.
I'll
that's still on
forget
the
a
wall.
word and have to use some other word.
Where's the cuckoo clock?
Take a picture if you want.
Oh, I'll just
Can
zoom
you
in.
see
on-
it?
Yeah, I
The
can
Toy
see
Store
it.
cuckoo clock, because the toy store apparently had to have a cuckoo clock.
Oh.
Wow.
I can hold it. Oh, I got it.
Oh my. Grandma has a fancy
Parasol.
shade now.
Once you have the sun,
Parasol.
it's a parasol.
Yeah.
Such
She can
fun
do,
being old.
I know.
Yeah, you can hold it.
Yeah, she can.
Dorothy, she says you can do exercises. She's saying that you can. You still can.
Well, after a fashion. We
I used to
should
have
show her how we do the exercises with that.
Oh yeah. Do you want Abel and Jack? Do you guys want to show Dorothy
Yeah, that would be fun.
Grandma's exercise? Some of Grandma's exercises that you can do right here. You don't
That
pull
takes
it.
coordination.
Then Grandma stretches out her legs. Did you see our video, our exercise video?
Centenarian
Another one is
That's
exercise.
called a
we put
slide.
our feet like this.
And
I
then
told
this
Verna
is
that. I said,
hamstring stretch.
Yeah.
oh, why can't I do
Usually
that?
does
Yeah.
this.
So we showed her the other ones.
That's what Abel used.
In your dress
And
clothes.
it's on that.
And
Okay.
another one is this.
And then you change legs.
And then you could do the one where you reach down on the side.
Oh, is that your exercise, Dorothy, where you remove your leg like that? Yeah, that's sort of like one of our other ones, where you lift your leg up and down. Yeah.
You young guys don't have to do exercise. You just help your great grandma.
And the best one of the best ones is the snack.
They have a
What? Oh, they get a snack out.
snack at the end. Yeah, M&Ms. Grandma has a stash. They get like 3 M&Ms each or something.
No, 2 M&Ms each.
2. Oh,
But when we run low,
We have 4.
We're getting
what? No, it's 2 M&Ms each, and when we run low, we get 1
Exercise
M&M
training,
each.
that you exercise and then you get to eat something.
Oh yeah.
Oh, watch your hand there. I could pinch it.
That's
And I bang. People
There's-
looking down on me.
The pulleys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just like our pulleys too.
Pulleys.
Oh, you have pulleys to do.
Then we have
She's seen
weights.
this, I'll
And
probably
we
get
have
it out.
Yeah.
the weight
if you
is
have
when you're
things
lay.
like
You
that
have to
on the
lay down to
pole.
do the weights, and you go like up with a weight on
they
your
get
foot.
creative.
So they were sheltering in place, but they could still get plenty of exercise.
Of course.
I think that's wonderful that you can walk.
Yep. Verna's pretty resilient. You're going to be 101 in, what, 3 months?
She always, when I get 101, then she goes on and is 102. I cannot catch up with her.
Well, you're the same age for about a month, and then
Yeah.
Dorothy
Goes
skips
and has a
ahead.
birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to the doctor the other day, and she is officially her
They
doctor's
have
oldest
my
patient now.
birthday all mixed up. I thought I was born on the 14th.
Of October.
And they all tell me everything, and even my, what do you
The
have?
driver's license. We went to the doctor, and you have to fill out all those forms with a date. So I wrote the date in, and then she was signing it. And she looked at it and says, "Oh, I'm not born on October 13th. I was born on October 14th." So I said, "No, Mom, you're born the 13th." She said, No, it's the 14th. And so she wouldn't believe me, so I got her driver's license out. And so her response was, "How come they have the wrong date on my driver's license?"
Well, Grandma has 2 birthdays too because she was born in China. And what happened?
No, I was born.
Oh, you were born here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was your dad.
The thing my father signed at the hospital is a different date than my regular birth certificate. So I figure it was late at night because I think it was around 10, 11 o'clock. And he was just fuzzy by the time he signed those things.
So you have 2 days of birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always celebrated the 29th. And then when I retired from teaching and sent off for my birth certificate, it was 28.
Which is it actually?
What?
Which is it actually? There's also
I don't know now.
You know so?
But I just claimed 29, and that's what Social Security.
You could get a Sylvester's burger both days,
Yeah.
probably.
Oh, that would be fun to try.
She's blowing you a kiss.
Yeah. Goodbye.
No hugs.
Nice meeting you too.
Keep going, Mom.
Wonderful to have you here.
Goodbye, Dorothy.
That was so nice. Thank you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We'll see you Thursday, Verna.
Bye.
Bye, Dorothy.
Good to see you, Verna.
We hope you've learned something from the library's oldest patron. Thank you for watching this video.